Since I have an unusual setup to be able to edit my videos and spend some of my days while I'm in quarantine, living in my car, and have a dissociative disorder, I thought I'd show you all something about what it's like. The owner of a performance venue lets me come by so I can edit videos or really just do anything. So I'll make tea here, I'll heat up water and make noodles you get out of those little containers you get from the grocery store or 7-Eleven. Usually throughout the day I gotta brush my teeth at least a second time. The fact that I'm dissociating makes it pretty scary sometimes when it feels like my skin is crawling and I'm getting goosebumps because it's like this poison is coming out of me. I have Depersonalization-Derealization disorder, and all that bullshit fucking advice doesn't really work for me about relaxing your muscles, relaxation, keep living your normal life. The more I try to live my normal life, the more I get dissociated at times. It just takes time. When I have the depersonalization, I can't feel any desires. It is so scary. I feel numb. When it's at its worst, it's hard for me to even swallow food. Lately it's been getting better, but it comes in waves. It hits me. And when it hits me hard, sometimes it's like I feel poison coursing through my skin. I get goosebumps. I feel shitty because I got up late today when lying down for another 2 hours did nothing to help me. I'm about 5 months into my disorder, and it's almost scary because it's like I have to remind myself to care about my life. I'm not depressed, I just don't feel anything at times. Like I'm so numb, nothing matters to me. I couldn't imagine how somebody could hold down a regular job because I'm like, it would pain me so much, the numbness I feel when just nothing matters. I don't care if I accomplish anything. I don't care if anyone mistreats me. Just none of it matters. So I'll sit at my computer and try and write a little bit, edit videos, and I'll also just watch stuff I like on the internet. I'm 5 months into my relapse and still recovering. And then once I finally am recovered, like I have been before, I'm never fully out of it, to where certain triggers, certain things can't make me dissociated. They make me dissociated very easily. It's to the point where it's like I need to feel this horrible burden on me all the time, and this horrible urgency to feel like I need to control the world around me and control my life and my feelings and my drives in order to not get dissociated. But when I'm like that, I feel this overwhelming pressure and this incredible sense of despair and failure that always I'm not matching up to what I want. But it's the only way to keep me from being dissociated, is to just be miserable. Things that feel good normally, I can't even handle a lot of times. Or my mind just trips out. I was watching the scene in Goodfellas when Karen points a gun at Henry Hill and is on top of him, and my mind almost couldn't even focus on the gun because I'm thinking, oh, that's nice, his wife is there. Like my instinct for like self-preservation, even vicariously in the movie, it couldn't even kick in. It's like this strange kind of horrible bliss, but it's very uncomfortable and painful. I get mad to the point where I don't even want to hear anything about depersonalization, derealization, recovery. I don't want to hear anything about coping techniques and ways of ridding yourself of it, because I think it's all lies. It has nothing to do with me how you recover the way they say you do. Oh, you relax, you use certain techniques. Bullshit. How do you do that when you're in such overwhelming, excruciating pain you can barely swallow food or sleep more than 45 minutes a night? And then, how do I avoid getting a relapse again? Each time I get out of a relapse, the triggers I have are stronger and stronger. This bullshit about, oh, you just, you expose yourself to the things that trigger you and you get more used to them. Bullshit. They got me dissociated in the first place. They got worse and worse for me because they get a more powerful grip the more I'm exposed to them. So I guess I just can't feel good things. I can't have a good job interview. I can't have a good encounter with another person because it all dissociates me. I can't handle it. Back when I was a teenager, before I knew anything about mental health, I thought God was doing this to me. I thought I was being destroyed and pulled out of my body and purified of my desires so that God could take me to be with Him. But it was like a failure that my body wouldn't stop, that I wouldn't die and just go be with Him. And I was literally almost hallucinating that this was happening, that I was perceiving things from like another world. And I started growing angry because all these other Christians I saw didn't seem to experience this. Why aren't they giving up their lives? Truly giving up every pleasantry, every desire for their God that they supposedly take seriously. Bullshit they do. Why would it even matter to them when they hear testimonies like, God saved my life, God made things better for me? What would it matter if anything felt good? If anything was nice for you, if your life was extended? Who cares? If you're really Christian, you want God to take you as quickly as possible. So in a way, I'm grateful for my disorder because it stopped me from seriously wasting my life on Christianity, thinking, well, God will figure things out for me. And just being in denial about everything like I wasn't doing anything to make my life better. I was in total denial about any problems I had to where I didn't even know I had them because I couldn't admit them. The only thing that is sensible to me at all is to throw this energy I have into movies. It's an area where words don't matter. It doesn't matter if this makes sense or not. You can celebrate the fact that it's so unreasonable that I go through this, and that I can create a world that's not reasonable in real life, because there's nothing reasonable about this condition for me. How am I going to avoid another relapse after about 5 years without one? And my relapse 5 years ago was some of the most excruciating pain. I didn't even know I could get that sick. And the relapse I had about 3 years before that was even worse in many ways, because I went so incredibly numb. Sleeping was not satisfying, eating was not satisfying. I could get no pleasure out of watching movies or having any encounters with other people. Literally, it was like my emotions were wiped away, and I thought God was doing it, again, to somehow purify me of my desires. That's what they taught in school, so I took it seriously, even though I absolutely despised it. And I was so ignorant. My idea of ethics was so malformed because of my Christian upbringing that I couldn't even understand how you're supposed to really navigate through life. So now, at least finally, at 35, it makes much more sense to do all this, to live in my car, to go edit videos where I can, to shower in the street, to take naps here when I get tired. Because at least I can sort of know, even though it's so ingrained in me, that anything you want is wrong, anything good is wrong, you're not supposed to feel anything good, that somehow it's okay that I'm just living my life, even though I've always had this like blind fury that I'm alive. Because there's always a part of me that will always think, if I had to destroy my idea of God to live my own life, it's almost like everything I do just to enjoy life is taking life. It's this incredible stress on me. But oh well, that's what it's like to be dissociated and to be on the good side of it where you're recovering.